Hi people, Nick from HiFi Collective here. So we've done an unboxing of the TU-8850 Elekit amplifier. So you might want to refer to that. So we're going to get on with the build. So the first few pages of the instructions refer to all the parts. Now, in your own time, you might want to go through and check them all. I will not do that. Because I've got full faith that it's all going to be there. But feel free, there's tick boxes, you can go through it all, lots of pictures. So I'm going to bash on just building up the PCBs. Now, the PCB is supplied in one big pack like this. Now you have to break it down because there's actually about 5 different PCBs to this kit. So let's take it out of his bag. These, keep those for later. They're stickers. So you can see here, they call things Unit 6, Unit 5, so Unit 4, they're all their own kind of boards. So you need to have a table edge, and you can see where the joins are, so keep it steady. Ooh, like that. So get all your boards together. Oh. So there's the Unit 6, Unit 3, Unit 5. Cool, Unit 4. Unit 7. So Unit 7 is for 100 volt AC supply. Now obviously we are 230 volts in the UK and Europe. So I'm just going to put that to the side so I don't make a mistake and use it. So there's the full board. That's all good. So now I'm going to go through the bags here. I'm going to start with resistors and start populating the board. So we've got all the parts in front of us, passive components, all the connectors, valve bases, and the PCBs all separated. The first thing it talks about is the tools, what you need. So standard, you've got your soldering iron, your soldering iron stand, so we all have that. By the way, we use the Mundor 3.8% solder. Solder is not provided with this kit, and the tools aren't either. So that's that. And then you've got your cutters, long nose pliers, Phillips screwdrivers, and there's a 2.5 Allen key, scissors, or knife, and then a nut driver, 5.5 and 7mm. Tweezers, not sure what that's for. Sounds interesting. File or sandpaper. And then a multimeter, standard multimeter, a low cost one will be fine. Turning over the next page. Yep, I'm assuming you've kind of checked all the parts and you're happy they're there. The very first thing it talks about is assembling Unit 2. Now when it says units, it's referring to the PCBs. So Unit 2 is in fact this. That's Unit 2. And this is wiring up the RCA input sockets. So you can see what they look like there. So quick scan, found them, open up the bag. Now this Unit 2 PCB has a track on only one side, so pretty easy to figure it out. Also tells you what colour. You've got the red and the white, so red goes in there. Only goes in one way around this, so you can't really go wrong. Just have to push that in. The PCB tags need a bit of manipulation there, and again. There. Cool. So now I'm going to use this, which is my extractor fan, just to suck up all the nasty fumes coming off your soldering iron. So when I'm using it, it will be a bit noisy. I'm going to use my vise because things keep wobbling. Hold the board in place. So I'm using, I think it's probably a 2.5 chisel type solder tip. You're not doing like nano soldering on this, so you want a chisel really. So that one's done. Make sure they're all nice and flat. That's ready for later. Now it says number 3. This is Unit 3, the volume control. So get those bits together. I have all the parts required for Unit 3 assembly, so it's the volume control. Again, there's only track on one side, so you can figure out which way round it all goes. Make sure everything's nice and flush. Just going to solder in the potentiometer. I'm actually holding the potentiometer flat just so that it is flat. Always refer to the pictures. Cool. Hand tighten first, and then we'll tighten them up. A nut runner is a good one to use for this, but I don't really have one. So I'm just going to use some pliers. Or you could use a spanner. Cool, so there's Unit 3 assembled. All good. Looks exactly like the picture. I'm now going to populate unit 4 PCB here. I've got all the bits together. Now, just a word about the resistors. They are supplied to us in lots of bags, so you really need to check that you've got the right value. I mean, I've used a meter just to check the resistances. Even though it gives you the color code, it is worth checking it. So if you've got a meter, have a go. And then also be aware that, for example, unit 4, it wants 2 27R resistors. They do supply 4 because 2 are used somewhere else, so don't let that fool you. Right, so gonna pop the resistors in. Again, it's only solder tags on one side, so that's how that works. We're gonna go with a 1R. And it gives you the position of where you're actually soldering them. R133. So you have to bend the pins. With the resistor, it doesn't matter which way around you go. No biggie. 2, 3, 3. Three point three is our 132 next door to those we just fitted. And then this is a 51R 129. This is a 27R 130. So there's, for example, there's 6 in the bag. Just going to check that is an 8R2. Pretty sure it is. Yes, 8R2. And the 8R2 is 131. Brill. Then you've got 4 larger resistors, which is the 3 watts, 10R. Put those in. All these resistors are flush to the board. Cool. Then we go over to the L pin header duals. So very important you follow this diagram. They're going to go one way round. It's pretty straightforward actually. Cool. And there. And there. Just going to put one of the pins in. Same position on both. Probably for later, you'll be able to adjust something here, I'm sure. I think it's to do with the headphone output. 1/4 inch jack, stereo, is going in. And then you've got the pin header. Goes in there. Assume that's right, isn't it? Yep. And then you've got the PCB terminal pushed on there. Cool. So they have it all there. We're just going to solder it up and cut the lead short. So we're going to assemble unit 5, which is located at the back of the amp and holds the speaker posts. And there's some switching going on there as well, and some resistors. So straight in, R20, R124. R125. Close to the body. .225. .125. And then we got the 1Ks at 126, which is there. And 226. So I'm going to solder these in because the leads get in the way for the next bit. Cut them short. And then these L-shaped 4-pin, they do go a specific way, like thus. Just going to do one at a time. Quite substantial, these. And this one. And the switch goes on this one as well. There. Go either way round. On the bar. And now we're doing the posts. So these need to be undone. have taken off the metal washers for all the speaker posts because you don't need those. They have fabricated, probably 3D printed these brackety things, washers. So you can see there's a hexagonal space there for the screw, which goes in there, goes in there. Because I think something screws into there later. Now, looking at this, everything comes in this way. So, yeah, the washer, the nut comes out, so just be wary of that. So I've got that in there like that. The nut is under that middle bit. Just going to hold that. While the black is in the middle. Lord gee. Washer goes like that. It's a bit fiddly, this one. It's going to get one fitted, so it just holds it in place, and then you screw it in. Just doing it loosely, then I'm going to put the red one in. Like so. Well, and then adjustable spanner, tighten them up. So I'm going to do the same to the other side. We're now going to join Unit 4 and Unit 5 assembly together. Part of this requires a standoff to be fitted on unit, what unit number is this? 4. So there you go. On the drawings it's actually got, well, it's got the size of the what you're actually fitting. So screw that in. Needs a bit of a, needs to be screwed tight. Go. So, look at the diagram. That's the back of it. That's where the top is, just to make sure you've got the orientation right. Okay, like that. Well, and there's a screw that goes in there. Tiny bit fiddly, not too bad though. Screw it in. It's tight. So there you have the joining of both boards. So you see here, you're actually dabbing solder, connecting up all these parts. So hopefully you can see that. So this is where a chisel is pretty cool. So in there, in the join, leave it for 3 elephants. Brilliant. 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 1 elephant, 2 elephant. Cool, that's all joined up. Great. So we're going to be populating the AC inlet unit. So be aware, there's different voltages out there. Well, you probably know that anyway. So we want the 230 volt one. If you're building it in Japan, it's 110. There's all different ones. So there's actually three. So you've got 230, 115 volt, and 100 volt for Japan. So I'm doing the 230 because it's for the UK. And here are all the bits. Similarly, you have to be careful about what fuse you're going to go for. We're going to go for a 3 amp that's supplied with the kit. You use a 5 amp for all the lower mains voltages. The switch. Suppressor. The fuse. So when you're putting the clips for the fuse, make sure you get them the right way around, because there's a blocker at one end. If you get them the wrong way around, you won't be able to fit the fuse. And then that goes there. Don't put the fuse in until you've actually soldered in the fuse holder. There you go, solder those bits in. There you go. Pop the fuse in. Ready to rock. We have built the majority of the boards now, not the big one, that's coming up later. So now is a good opportunity just to run through those boards. Always check your work. So this one, unit 2, is the RCA input, a signal input. That's all good, nice and flush with the board. This one is your volume control. All good. This one, your AC inlet unit for 230 volt AC. Make sure all your solder joins are done. All good, and that clips in there nicely. Fuses, the right fuse is fitted. And then this one is your kind of output stage. So you've got everything looking sweet. You got, make sure you got the black and the red the right way around. That's all good. Switch. Yeah, it's all great. So now on to the big task of Unit 1. Just before I sign off, I want to say a big thank you for watching our videos. Like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social network platforms. See you later.